Well, whether you've lived in Connecticut your whole life or you've only just arrived, there is always something new to discover, despite the tiny size of our state. Author Marty Podskoch made it his mission to point out the curiosities of Connecticut in his new book called Connecticut 169 Club, your passport and guide to exploring CT.
Marty is here along with Kathy Weiss of Clinton, one of the contributors to the book. Thank you so much for both of you being here. The book is physically beautiful, and I love books about Connecticut because it teaches me something. I always find something that I didn't know about Connecticut.
Yeah. I was very fortunate. I came here from the Catskill Mountains where I taught school, and I started doing research about the Civilian Conservation Corps camps of Connecticut, and I gave talks in about 90 towns and gathering information. I saw what a beautiful state we have here in Connecticut, because people would say, why did you leave the Catskills? You know, it's so gorgeous. But, you know, when you go to all these beautiful towns, I said, oh my God, I had done a book about traveling to the Adirondacks, called it the 102 Club, as I got the idea that in Vermont they have a 251 Club. It started in 1954. They have 4,000 members today, and people just enjoy traveling to all over Vermont. So I said, let's do the Adirondacks. So when I moved here to Connecticut, I said,
let's do it.
This state is gorgeous. I mean, you've got the mountains, you've got the shore, you've got lakes, 2,000 lakes here in Connecticut.
It's amazing.
It's same thing as the Adirondacks, 2,000 lakes.
And Kathy, you're one of the contributors in the book.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the section where we can find your discoveries.
Well, I live in Clinton, and I think it's a beautiful town. I was so happy to write about it. And we have so much to offer. I think the main things, if you just strolled the few streets downtown, you would have history. The Adam Stanton House, Benjamin Franklin, when he was postmaster, left a marker there. I mean, you would have restaurants, all kinds. You would have art galleries and antique shops. You have the beautiful shore and osprey nests, and it's just something. Everyone thinks of the outlets, but there's beautiful places to photograph. With a lot of beautiful places to do anything.
The book is done strategically by county, and that's how it's done. So it's alphabetical by towns, by individual counties.
Right.
That's
the whole idea is to. People say, well, where do I start? Well, you could just start in a certain section, like a county.
Right, which is terrific.
In one day, you might be able to get 6, 8 towns in one day. And then you have to stop at a restaurant, stop at a library, stop at a town hall, get the town signature or their seal, or just stop somebody on the street and get it signed. You got to meet people.
Which is really nice, and that's what happened with the other books. So if we take this around, the idea is it'd be a great thing for a family to do. You can look in and see what interests your kids, what interests you, and plot different things to do on the weekend. I want to show you also we have a beautiful display of some of the photography that is in the book. It's just gorgeous, some of the photos that you have curated here.
It's just amazing. I have not been able to visit all of these places because I was able to find somebody in each town to write about their town, about 600 words, a little interesting, the history, and also interesting places to visit. Somebody would say, well, why don't you do it yourself? I don't know the towns.
Right, exactly.
You need somebody locally who lives there. What's the good ice cream place to go?
Yeah.
I used to do a series called Every Town Has a Story, and I pretty much went to every town in Connecticut. Some towns I would find a few things, some towns I'd find a plethora of things. Was there a town that really sticks out the most to you that you did visit, that you were like, this is just unbelievable?
It would be hard. It's a tough question.
Yeah.
I know there's a place, in a place called Fish Family Farm, and you drive up this narrow road going up to this farm, and they have Jersey cows.
It's in Bolton.
In Bolton.
Yep.
And when you taste that ice cream, it just lingers on your palate.
Well, we want to thank the both of you for being
here.
Thank you. The book is spectacular, and I hope this is a great Christmas gift too. Christmas 2 months from today.
And
get the book.
Find it at local bookstores, right?
At local bookstores, at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and
we have a lot of
even
book
restaurants, wherever some of the places that are mentioned.
Okay, great. Thank you. And again, the book is called Connecticut 169 Club, Your Passport and Guide to Connecticut.
Marty has 2 book signings coming up. On Saturday afternoon, he's going to be at the Book Club bookstore in South Windsor, and on Sunday, he'll be at the Barnes & Noble Yukon Hartford bookstore on Front Street in Hartford at 2 o'clock.